Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the next video in the UiPath Selector series. In the previous videos of the series, we have seen what are UiPath selectors. We have seen all the basics such as what is IDX, what are tags and attributes. Post that we have seen what is UI framework. We have tried to understand the basics of UI Explorer, and we have seen each and every button in the UI Explorer. We have also explored the property explorer. Then we have seen how does a wait attribute, set attribute works. And then in a live conversation, we have discussed how is the partial selector differentiating from a full selector, desktop versus web recording, and all of these steps, right? So this is the next video in the selector series. In case you have not watched the previous videos, I'll put the playlist link in the description and you can refer that. Now let us see the agenda for this video. So today we are going to discuss about the index property in the selector. When I say the index property in the selector, if you are looking at the screen, this is a sample selector, and if you will see for the table column I have value, I have the 6 as the value, and in the table row I have specified something called index. So this is what we are going to see today, how we can use the index property or any of the element or a variable in the UiPath selectors. Okay, so I am in my UiPath Studio, and before directly jumping into the automation and see what exactly we are trying to do, let us see the problem statement. Okay, so I will go to my Internet Explorer. Let me just close the other tabs. Okay, so this is my Internet Explorer and I have this set of data available, a random website. And let's say I am writing an automation where I want each and every name from this grid, right? So if you will see, I have different name such as Center, Precision University. So let's say that I want to write an automation where I, as an input, I just want all of these names. So now one alternative would be to scrape this entire data from the website, put it in a data table, and then iterate the data one by one and get these rows. Now, do we have any other alternative? Yes, we do have. The other alternative is using of index inside the selector. So that is what we are going to see in this video. So the agenda here is how can we use exactly index in the selectors. Okay, so to start this one, let me just quickly go to UiPath Studio and I will click on the UI Explorer. Let us just wait for the Explorer to fire up. Okay, and in case you don't know what all these buttons are doing, I have a dedicated video on the channel where I'm explaining each and everything of the UI Explorer. What is this wizard, how can we use the selector editor, and all those things. I'll put the link in the description and you can refer that. Having said that, what exactly I need from this guy? So I want to get the name of each and every name which is available here, right, from the customer table. So let me just quickly go ahead and click on indicate on element, and let me just get the selector for the first name. Okay, so I have got this selector, so it has an IDX property. Let me just go ahead and change the table row. Let me just take the table row and the IDX is gone. Click on validate and let me just click on highlight and see, yes, it's correctly identifying the first element. Okay, let me go ahead and hit Control plus C. I will go to my notepad and I will paste the selector here. Okay, let me now go ahead and indicate to some other element. So now if we go ahead and click on the second element, so this is my selector for the second element. Let me quickly copy this guy and paste it in my notepad. Okay, now similarly I will go here and get the selector for the third item. So this is my selector. Let me just copy this one also and paste it in my notepad, right? So if you will see, if I ask you, do you see any pattern here? So you will say yes, definitely there is a pattern. These two lines are same. Now since this is a tabular structure, this entire thing is a tabular structure. That is why the UiPath is getting the selector in form of a rows and columns. So if you will see, the column is 6. How does the column is evaluating? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then this is the row, right? So what does it says? It says that for the first time for this guy, it is getting the column 6 to row 2, column 6 row 3, column 6 row 4, right? So this 2 3 4 and changing. So based on this selectors, what we can do is we can get all this name dynamically. So that is what we are going to see today, right? So now let me go to UiPath Studio. Okay, so first of all I will click on the main.xaml. So this is where our automation will start. So what do we want to do here? So we want to extract all the name from the this website, right? So to get all the name, first of all, since it is inside an website, we can always go ahead and use an attach browser. Okay, so I drag and drop an attach browser, and I will simply point it to the screen, this entire screen. That way it will be able to get all the selectors inside this window. Okay, now what we want to do, I want to get each and every element name, and we have seen that only the thing changing is this one, right? So how I can get with the help of index in selector? So to get that element, I will use an activity called get text. Okay, get text, I will drag and drop it here. Now it is asking me to indicate on the element. So if I just click and indicate it on the element like this. Okay, let me just minimize this notepad for a while, and if I go here edit the selector, you will see that it is pointing to the first element, the selector which we have got, right? So let me just do one thing. So this is our generic selector, right? We have seen it is coming, so why don't we just copy this selector? Okay, and I will come here and I will just paste it like this. I will click on validate and highlight. Yes, that is the selector for the first one, right? But now our agenda here was to get each and everything, and we want to use index, right? So how can I use that? I will always go here. Let me just first go to the variables. I'll click on the sequence, and uh, assuming that how many items I want to let's say get this name. Okay, so before that let me just quickly put one input dialog. Okay, let me quickly take an input dialog, and we will ask the user that how many names you want. Okay, so how many names you want. Okay, simple. So the user will just enter the value, and whatever the value get, we just create a variable. Okay, let me just go here. I will hit Control plus K. I will create a variable, let's say str, okay, int underscore uh, count. So that would be the number of names the user require, and that way it will be storing it in, right? And this one would be now a integer 32 variable. Okay, so that means that when the automation is running, we are going to ask user how many name it want, and this name will be coming here, right? Okay, so now how can we use an index in an selector? So I go to edit selector. You will see if I ask you what exactly the changing here. So the changing element was this guy, uh, table row, right? So table row first was 2, then it became 3, and then it became 4. Okay, so I will go here in the table row, just see it carefully. I will select only the 2, and I will hit Control plus space. Okay, so now it has given me an option to select the variable. Now I have two options: either I can hit Control plus K and I can create a variable also, or what I can do, I can hit Control plus space and set an existing variable. Okay, so what I will do is I will go here, and let me do it like this. I will go ahead and I will create a variable called let's say index, and that would be a form index. So I will write int index. Okay, and that would be of type integer 32. Now if I go here and inside the selector here, what I have to do, again I have to hit Control plus space. I will select 2, Control plus space, and then it will ask me which variable you want to use. So I will say I want to use the index one. Okay, and I will hit OK, and then now UiPath will change it dynamically, that now this will work as per the index which you are providing. Okay, so now if you will see, the index now is do, and it is not having any default value. So now we want to get each and every name based on the index, right? So if you will see, the index as of now is nothing. So if we run this automation, we will get an exception. But now since we have already have that count, so what I wanted to do is I simply want, what I can do is I can take an for each activity. Okay, so okay, why do we require a for each, right? So I just have that count, so I will just write while, okay, and while, so how many times I want to execute the loop, right? So I want to execute the loop till the number of route, right? So I will just type here, I have created a variable, let me go here, I will increase the scope of the variable. I think I have created it here. So this scope, I will just increase it to the complete sequence first of all. So I just want it to execute for the number of times we have inserted here. So what is the number of times? Integer count, right? So I'm just writing integer of index is less than integer of count. Okay, and what I wanted to do, I just want the UiPath automation to do this thing. Now what will happen here? So now the first time the bot will run, it will get us the count, assuming that the count is 10. So first it will check whether the index is less than count. So let me just give it a default value of index. I will just give it a default value of 1, and whenever this condition is coming, we will just increment the counter by 1. So what that will do, it will just increment. So I have to increment, what we can do is I can always take an assign activity, and here I will write integer of index is equal to integer of index plus 1. Okay, so now let us try to understand what will happen. So first the process will run. It will ask for the user to enter an input. User will enter, let's say, 10. So here we have got the value of 10. So by default the value is 1, right? We have specified the value as 1, right? So 1 is less than 10, condition will be true. Now the index value will be 2. Now int index will be 2, and now what will happen inside the attached browser, in the selector, we will get the value of 2, I of 2. Now once this value is getting, and when the loop is running next time, it will just increment the counter by 1, and then it will keep working like this till this condition is not satisfying. Okay, now once we get this text id, what we want to do, assuming that we will just store this variable in a value called, let's say, str underscore name. So we are just storing the value of the text which we are getting from this selector, and let's say we just put a message box here. Okay, and in the message box, what I will do is I will just type the name. Okay, so now if I run the automation, expectation is it should give me the each and every name from this website in a message box. Okay, let us try to run this flow in a debug mode so that we actually understand how this thing is working. Let me put a breakpoint here. I will click on debug the file. So the process has started now. Okay, so first of all, it will give me an input dialog which says how many automation you want. So how many names you want, let me give it 8. So I want 8 names, right? So there are more than 8 entries. Hit OK. Now if you will see, the integer index as of now is 1. 1 is less than 8, condition is true, it will go inside, right? It will go inside. Now the index value will be 1 plus 1 equal to 2, and now this 2 will be passed as the selector. Now what would be the dynamic selector? As of now it is having this variable. Now it will become row of 2, and it will get me the text for this selector. Let us try to do that. I will go here, step into, right, step into. Okay, and let us just check the variable. So you will see this value we have stored in the variable called str name, and we have got the name as Santa Clara Valley Tech. So if I go to the website, this is the complete name which we are getting. Okay, so let me just step into, and it will give me the name of the first item. Okay, now if I go ahead and do it again, right, so it will now come out of the loop again. It will just come out to the while loop, and then it will come inside. It will again check this condition. The condition will now again increment the index to 3, right? So the first time it was 2, now the index is 3. So if I go here, now it will, first time it got for this element, now it should get the item for the third one. So it will execute now. Let me check that quickly. We go here, step into, and now we got the second element, that is the precision products. Okay, so what if I just click on the continue button, and it will keep giving me the name for the 7 items. The university biological materials, hit OK. Then the Great Lake okay, then the Lone Star, okay, then the 21st Century Material, this guy, and then the San Joaquin Scientific Supply, okay, and once the loop is completed, the process will come out of the this entire execution. So this is how we use an index item in the selector. One other approach could be, definitely you can always scrape this data, get it into a data table and iterate and then get all this data. But if you will see here, we are not using the data scraping, we are just using a single statement in a single selector, only this single selector, and we have used the index property. I hope now you understand how we can use the index in selectors. Okay, so I will wrap this video here. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please do subscribe to the channel, and happy automation.